Hello and welcome everybody. We are glad to join you here at our webinar. Today we're gonna show and talk a little bit about the new version of the RapidAuthor package. The session is timed for 1 hour, at least we will try to make it in 1 hour. And we will talk about several things concerning our new release. So there will be a couple of blocks of information that we want to attend. First of all, we'll talk about the authoring processes. We will also talk about the editing 2D illustrations with the use of Cortona3D Editor Pro. We will talk about the new 3D PDF Publish. There's also quite some improvements in the update wizard functionality. There's a lot of benefits that have been made in the import process of the tools. And last but not least, we'll talk about a new team-centered Cms integration and some other honorable mentions about the new version of the tools. So the authoring process is one of the key points is now starting from 10.1 version of the RapidAuthor package. We have the support of S1000D format 4.2 schemas. Also, we have added the support of the 2D PDF publishing output for 2 additional specification components, the ATA 2200E IPC and ATA 2200E IPC. And there was quite a change in the callout generation of the product. So we will talk about this in more details. First of the changes was the dimming outside the drawing canvas area. Oh, sorry. New type of placement for callouts was added. So the option is called wrap, and this could be applied in the settings of the callouts. There are now 4 options of the callout placement. Wrap is the option where callouts are placed through the model on the same with the same spacing from the 3D model. Also, the 3D callouts now can be more easily modified, considering that they're a once-type object. You can basically change the axis in which you're working with your 2D illustration, then select number of callouts that you want to align, for example, for a specific axis. You specify the axis and you align the callouts to that particular axis. It gives the author the more easier and faster way to manage the callouts if they're not quite in the correct position that the author wants to. So the same benefit could be done for the other side of the callouts. Next is the options of the halo effect that was added. We've dropped the option to the properties. So now you can actually go to the images preferences and say that you would like to have an outline for the callouts leader lines. What this will do is this will create an additional layer of white spacing between the 3D model and the leader line of the callout. In some standards, this is a requirement for every callout to be placed in a 3D model in a 2D image. You can also specify the parameter at any time in the property inspector if you wish to change the settings of the halo effect. Also, there was simplification of the editing process of the generated 2D images. Now we'll show you the options of the so-called Terminators. So we have 2 options. There's arrow and point. You can specify the arrow in the properties of the callouts, and then they will be applied to each automatically generated callout. You can also specify and correct the placement of the Terminator the same way as usual. The second option is the Terminator point. The important thing that you can actually also specify the size of the Terminator. So for example, in here, the size of the Terminator is too large. All you'd have to do is go back to the settings and edit the Terminator size to the proper and correct size of your 2D illustration. The correction will be applied to all of the leader lines of the callouts, and you can specify and edit the 2D illustration more quickly and more easier. Next, we will talk about the Cortona 2D Editor Pro improvements. So there's quite a few of them. The same thing, we will go through each and every one of them in more details, and we will demonstrate you the changes and implementations for each point. So we will start from the dimming outside the drawing canvas area. In previous versions, there was a blue box that was giving the author the information of the active workspace. Now it is actually a more clear and easily read properties of the drawing canvas area. Again, this improves the quality of the working with the tool. Second is when the layer has been deselected, the applied shapes or primitives will be drawn in that particular layer. Also, all of the new objects that will be created on a specific layer will be created beneath the previous selected shape or tool. So here we selected the ellipse, and we've drawn an additional primitive rectangle, and it was created beneath the ellipse that was selected. Another addition is the inversions of the selected layers. So at this point, if the author has a lot of layers to work with, it will be easier for him to make a specific selection using the inversion of those layers. Okay. Another command that was added is the undo selection. This command could be handy when author is selecting or has to select a specific set of objects or shapes. And there are times when author misses and misclicks for example, a specific shape, or it clicks in outside the area that he would like to select it. And then he has to start over again and by selecting each and every object and shape that was selected. So using the undo command, it brings you to the previous selection or group of selection that the author has made, which saves quite a lot of time when you're working with a lot of primitives. Another part of the Cortona 2D Editor Pro improvements is these topics that you see before you. Again, we will go through each and every one of them to show you the benefits that were implemented. So to start off, we will start with the, you can actually define the style of the preferred shape. So for example, here we will draw a rectangle and we'll specify some of the parameters. So here we will select a new color. You can also specify edge lines, width of the line, and so on. And after which you can save this style as default so that each and every additional rectangle would be specified with the same properties that were set for the previous one. Again, it saves times and makes the author's life more easier. Another improvement that the logic of the tool selection was corrected So previously, after you have selected a tool and added an object, the tool was deactivated. Now the tool will be active until you will press either the escape button, or you will make a selection of a different tool, which will also be selected until you will either press the escape button or you will select a different tool. Escape button will bring you back to the so-called pick tool, so you can be easily selected with different shapes. Another addition is the ability to scale multiple objects. So for example, here we have a primitive, text, and image. So now these objects can actually be scaled not only in the global coordinate axis, but also using their local coordinate systems. So here we have a selection of the global coordinate systems, and we can change it to local, and then apply the changes to the scale parameter, so that the primitive will be scaled according to that global or local orientation. Same approach applies to the text objects. We have the same local coordinate system. We can switch it to the global one, and then apply the scale parameter that we need, and then either lock the ratio or remove it, depending on our needs. Again, the same logic applies to images. You can define your needed local or global coordinate system, and then apply the scale settings to define your end result. Simple and easy. The next block that we will talk about concerns the 3D PDF publishing. We had quite a bunch of improvements here. The most important one is we've changed the format of the 3D PDF publishing. Previously, we've used the U3D format, and now we're using the PRC format, which allows highly compressed geometry, and it's better in visual representations of the generated 3D PDF. That also allowed us to include the 3D PDF publishing in 64-bit version of the tools. Previously, it was only available for the 32-bit system. Also, the support of the IPC pages and orthographic projections of those IPC publications. Again, if you are buying the RapidAuthor for Team Center version of the package, which is distributed by Cms PLM, our partner, you will need the additional Rapid Data Converter model installed in order to have the 3D PDF publishing available in this setup. Now we'll show you the new PDF publishings. So the actual steps to create a 3D PDF publish have not changed. So after the work of the project is done, you basically go with the same steps as before. You're selecting the interactive 3D PDF, you're picking the style sheet, and then the generation of the publication is starting. In the end, you have the benefit of 3D PDF output, obviously. Also, you have the synchronization of the detailed parts list with the 3D. So when you will be selecting your parts in detail table, they will be highlighted in 3D. Same backwards, if you allocate a part in 3D, it will be highlighted in your detail table structure. The navigation remained the same. You have the same abilities that was available before. The basic rotation, movement of the 3D model. You can also pan your objects inside the 3D window. And of course, you can zoom in and zoom out on your model if your task is up to it. Also, you will have the items available directly in 3D. This will allow you to change the visibility of the parts. So, for example, you can hide some of the parts inside your 3D window. That might be useful to show some inner sides of the product. And also the ability, you have the full benefit of the IPC pages that were defined by your catalog projects that you have created in the Revit Catalog. Additionally, you can now add different projections to your IPC pages. So, for example, we'll take the same pump project and we'll change the perspective to the orthographic to a specific IPC page. We will modify the viewpoint and we'll apply the same changes to an additional IPC page. So again, we're switching to orthographic projection, managing the viewpoint, and afterwards we proceed to the 3D PDF publish. As a result, the published output will be containing orthographic projections for those specific IPC pages and will remain the perspective view that was edited before. Also, support of the cross sections. So, for example, if you will insert in any of your IPC page a cross section, so we will do it right now. We will add a new plane showing a cross section of a specific part. Same thing, we're going to publish this as a 3D PDF output. And if we will go to that particular IPC page, we will see that the cross-section is supported in this format. Additionally, you can actually turn on and off that cross-section effect. Okay. Next block that we will talk about will be concerning about the update wizard functionality. So there were also quite a bit of changes in the logic, how the update wizard will work. The major change was that now there was a conflict when author was working with the project and his changes got updated with the update that was coming for this project. So having this in mind, now these conflicts will be highlighted to the author. So for example, author has made a specific changes in the product, and the update is bringing new information to those metadata that author changed. This conflict will be highlighted in the items as a yellow rectangle with an exclamation mark, so that author would understand that there is a conflict between two metadata, the changes that author has made and changes that have been brought by the update. So he would have to make an actual decision. Now we will show how this decision will be made. So if the author wants to accept the changes that have been brought by the update, he has to go to a specific item. Here we have the item 170. and we see that the description was changed by the author. It says user changed 11. And the update is also bringing information to that description. So if author wants to bring these changes to the project, he has to check mark the metadata and press accept. As a result, we'll go back a little bit. As a result, we see that the description of the that particular item has changed from user changed to source changed, which means that the value of the update has been accepted and updated the metadata. Also, to easier the life of the author, now metadata that do not change will be hidden from the DPL row properties window. Author at any moment can display that metadata if he will need it. This is basically intended to easier the scope of the attention that author has to pay to a particular changes in the part. Once again, if you don't need them, you just check the box and you will see only the changes that have been affected by the update. Again, the same logic will apply to procedures. So, for example, here we have a Revit manual project, which has the same update wizard with the same conflicts. To accept an update, author will have to check the box and press the accept button. If author doesn't need the changes that have been brought by the update, whereas the conflict with the changes that author made himself, he can press the accept all button, and changes that were made by the author will have a priority over the changes that have been brought by the update. Okay. Now we'll talk about the import process of the tools. So first of all, we have introduced new supported Cad formats. You see them on your screen right now. Also, there was added a new feature that import profiles now can read the normal PervX information. So what this does is it gives author the ability to accept the information that is coming in the normals. So previously, this is the Revit configuration tool, which is used to configure import profiles that will be used during the import step. Here we will create VRML format, import profile, and we'll go strictly to surface properties, and we'll check out the read normal option. By default, it is always turned on. Then we will import some simple part. This is a nut, and as we can see that there are quite sharp edges, whereas the cut of the nut. And previously, the only option was to play with the crease angle parameter to either make the model more rougher or make it more smoother. But still, the end result was not always what author was wanted. Now, if the geometry has the normal information, you can switch it on, and the nut will be regenerated with the triangulated with the triangles using that additional normal information. As you can see, the cut is much smoother, and the edges are much smoother as well. Another change that now, same again in the import profile, you can make an adjustment if you wish to make the 3D items visible after the import step. So Again, previously in older versions, after the import, so here from the right side, you have the same Rapid configuration that is used to create and edit import profiles. We will create the out-of-the-box PLM XML profile, and you can see that the checkbox is not marked. We basically create a new project from scratch from the left using the Revit Catalog application. And we will import the PLM XML information using our just created import profile. So this is the out-of-the-box out-of-the-box way of how the profiles work. To be able to make the geometry visible, author has to select the core element and press Show Solid Representations. Now, in the newer version, author can actually make this decision configuring the import profile. So we will create a new import profile based on the same PLM XML template, but we will check the Make Items Visible box so that the 3D model after the import would be visible to authors directly, not pressing any additional buttons. Again, we're creating the same new project, and we will import the same PLM XML information, but using the modified import profile. So this addition makes, again, life of the author more easier and makes less clicks needed for a specific option. Right? Next would be the if you're working with DRML geometry, you can now additionally add into the project information about the text and extrusions, and they will be also included into the import profile. And last but not least, in Excel, there was a correction when both of the part numbers that have the same value. Previously, there was a specific number 2 added when those two part numbers were the same. Now you won't have any 2s. So in result, the DPL table structure will be more clearer. So here we have 2 DPL table that we want to import into our project. As we can see, we have the same part number, but different descriptions for each of those part numbers. So at first, we have our geometry, and we will add the DPL table using the Excel spreadsheet number 1, which will add us 3 tables, or 3 entries. As a result, we have the bolt under the item number 10. We can directly make the links to the 3D geometry by drag and dropping the parts to proper placements in the DPL table. And now we will import the additional DPL table information from Excel spreadsheet number 2, which has the same part number of the bolt, but has a different description to that part number. So what this will do is you won't have any 2s in your part number description. The part numbers will be the same, but the description would be gained from the last import that was done with the exact same part number, right? Once again, an honorable mention that the support of the new Cad formats If you're working with the RapidAuthor for Teamcenter package that is distributed by Cms PLM, our partner, you will need the additional Rapid Data Converter to work with the additional Cad formats that are listed here. The next topic would be the extended Cms integration that was added in the RapidAuthor 10.1 version. So this will make the use of the Teamcenter Cms integration more easier for the author. So again, to demonstrate the abilities, we'll go to a short video. So here we have the Teamcenter 11. It also has the applied RapidAuthor for Teamcenter package and applied the configurations of the profiles, imports, to be able to create RapidAuthor projects. Additionally, we have here in the home a topic, a CMS topic that was created in terms of content management system and has all of the preferences that content management system applies to its topics. And this topic has a basic view, which will be controlled by content management system. And the additional view was added manually. It's named C3D view, which stands for Cortona3D view. We've added this topic to make actual relations to the engineering data in that CMS topic. So if we will go to the structure manager of that view, we will see that it is actually already linked to a specific engineering data. So in our case, this engineering data is our beloved pump, the same geometry that we've shown you before. And we're applying the import option to that content management topic. So the import operation is starting. It is creating a Revit Catalog project and placing all of the geometry into Revit Catalog project. After the import is complete, we can now fully have the advantage of working with that topic directly from content management system. So previously, author had to basically manage these types of information in two places. Cortona3D items had to be managed in my Teamcenter, and content management topics have to be managed and edited in content management application. But now, using the extended integration, you can work with only one content management topic and use this topic to edit and make changes into the Revit Catalog project that was created during the import. So now we're going to open on edit the CMS topic. As you can see, it launches the Revit Catalog tool. And we will make some simple IPC catalog. We'll specify a particular IPC page. For example, view 1. We will add to this page specific DPL table information, and we will generate an image out of that information with the callouts. As we can see, we have an ID of the image. It's graphics, a couple of zeros, 61. And we're saving all of the changes back into the Teamcenter. So Teamcenter and this content management topic would have to have the link to that extra image that was created with the Revit Catalog. If we will go to the topic, we see that we have a new graphics added, 0061. Also, if we will go to the contents of the CMS topic, then we will see that in that preview, there's a link to that specific graphics that we have created. So now imagine that author will have to manage the same project not once. So we will make additional changes in that project. Again, a very simple ones to give you the idea of how this is working. We'll create an additional IPC page named View 2. We'll make a different viewpoint. Again, we will activate some of the detailed parts list information, and we'll generate the second image, which has an ID of 62. And also, we will add a title for our Revit Catalog. So previously, we didn't have any titles. If we will go back to Content Management, we see that there's no title at the Document Title tab. Now we're bringing on the same changes back into Team Center. If we will look, we're strictly getting the second graphics attached to that same topic. And the new title was also updated in the Content Management topic. If we'll refresh the content, it should have the second reference to the second image that was created in the Revit Catalog tools. Again, very easy and very efficient and fast, allows the author to manage all of his items in the Team Center. A couple of other honorable mentions. Considering that we have changed the 3D PDF output format, this allowed us to make the installer almost twice as smaller for the 64-bit versions. Also, there was a new addition, so the Rapid Developer 2 can be purchased now with a floating license. This is now was added to the price list of Cms PLM. We've also changed how the automatic detection of the license servers works. So if previously this option was by default turned on, now it is by default turned off. So if we will open our license administrator, we will see that we have a specific set of licenses for all of our tools, and we have a specific server specified from which to gain those licenses. So if we will remove that server, we will get a window where we don't have any licenses. So now if your user doesn't know to which server he has to point exactly, he can use the auto-detect function. If we will check this box on, it will hook up to the nearest license server, and we'll have the licenses that are available on that server. The complication is that if you have 2 or more license servers in your network, it will hook up to the closest one and nearest one. So, and that could be an issue. This is why we've decided to turn this function by default off. Right? Another mention is that the new product was added. It's called Rapid Data Converter for Team Center. It will be distributed as an additional module for the RapidAuthor for Team Center package. It will be providing additional CAD sources. So for example, using it as a standalone, you will have the ability to import such CAD formats as Cadia, Solid Edge, ProEngineer, and so on. An important note that you will be losing the automatic update, which comes with Team Center integration. the standalone update is planned for the upcoming 11.0 version of the software. Again, if you're using the RapidAuthor for Teamcenter, which is distributed by Cms side, you will need this Rapid Data Converter module to be able to make 3D PDF publishes. And a logical thing that both of the license types, the floating license and node lock license for Rapid Data Converter, is now added to Cms PLM price list. Again, as always, if at any point you'll have any questions or any additional questions to the presentation or any other question, you can contact us at support@cortona3d.com, and we will be happy to answer all of your questions. For now, we thank you for attending this webinar and hopefully to see you in the future. Thank you and goodbye.